All right, we're back in the GR Yaris. Today, looking at all the tech features, the dash, the head unit, and all the little quirks inside of it. It isn't the most luxurious with heaps of bells and whistles because Toyota was focusing on making this a rally car, but it's still not too bad inside. We'll just have a look at it and see how it all operates. Before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel as we'll have heaps more videos for this Yaris, all the exhaust and windy road test drives, and a full review that'll be on our website as well. So check it out. Now, before we get into the dash and the head unit, you've got three buttons here. The bottom one being the start stop for at traffic lights, the middle one being for traction control, and INT is your button that turns on rev matching for you if you don't know how to heel toe. Now, the other tech features, well, this is sort of related to the drive modes. You've got your sport, track, and normal that you just use from that button. There you have your buttons for your heated seats, and only one USB port in this car, and that's it. There should be more, but there's just that one, and it's right at the front. Here is your dual climate control for your left and your right. That's a little gap where you sort of just stick your iPhone or phone to sit as it's charging and plugged into CarPlay. Although it would have been better if that was, a magnetic charging, but it isn't. And then we move up to the head unit, which is a 7-inch display and JBL speakers. So there's JBL speakers in this car, not extravagant. They're a bit punchy, a little bit crisp. They don't do too bad, but they definitely could be more intense with more thump. Now we're looking at the head unit, which is this 7-inch system. It's basically the same system that Toyota uses in most of its other standard Corollas, Yarises, and Camrys. So it's nothing too crazy. And this is your home setup. So it's got the maps from Toyota, which is a plus. A lot of other countries have to pay extra to get maps, which doesn't really matter because you're going to use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but it's here anyway. And then you've got your CarPlay option here and then your phone as well. So if you click home, it'll just show this display. If you then click menu, it just got all your options here and you can go straight into CarPlay. So that is what CarPlay looks like, as everyone is aware. You can go right and left, and there's not really much more to CarPlay than just that. If you update, then you can show the map and what you're playing as well. So once we go back to the menu, you've got your destination in the top left. If you click that, it basically just shows you where you want to go. Search address. Now, I don't really like using sort of stock GPS systems in cars because I prefer Waze or Google Maps, but if you do want to use it, the option is there. Maybe if you don't have service or your phone is run out of charge, you don't have a USB cable, you've got maps inbuilt, which is good. Now if we go to menu, audio, it just shows you're now playing, nothing crazy. If you click sound, that is where you can change your treble, mid, and your bass. Now you can go all the way up or all the way back, depending on what you like, and your fade/balance for front and back. Now for my treble, I like to have it around about, no, that's too much, there. Seems like a good mix. Automatic sound leveler, and you can get CarPlay straight from here as well. You can also change the source. My phone, Miracast, which is just Toyota's old sort of cast system, AM, FM, and DAB. Now phone just basically opens up, oh, that's my family, and it goes straight to CarPlay. So if you click phone, it goes straight to CarPlay. Apps, well, Apple CarPlay is active, so that's my apps. And then if we go to setup, you've got general, which shows your clock, projection settings. Yes, we want CarPlay and Android Auto on. Customize home screen. You can show nav, audio, phone, and you can just change which information you want. I'm fine with it as it is, or you can change the layout if you want it to the right or the left, which doesn't bother me. Then your beep, I always turn the beep off because it's annoying. Theme settings, I like black and blue. Units of measurement, yes, metric. Auto change to screen. Keyboard layout, delete your keyboard history or memorize keyboard history. Animations, delete your personal data, software updates, and sensitivity. So there's a lot of options here. You go to audio, and this just is really basic. Display cover art, FM, radio text. Nothing crazy there. Bluetooth, if you want to set it up, but I'm plugged into CarPlay, so it won't allow me. And same with phone. Although I can unplug CarPlay and see Bluetooth option will now show up. Although if you would much rather use CarPlay, just plug it in by USB because it doesn't do Bluetooth CarPlay. Bluetooth will just let you play audio and take calls. And then add a device and detailed settings if you want more. Then you got phone, which again, registered devices through Bluetooth, separate to CarPlay. Audio, which we have been through, we've done the phone. Voice volume, this is like the Siri or GPS guidance. You can voice guidance in all modes, the prompts and the tone as well. Vehicle. Maintenance. Okay, this is where you can put in all the details about it. You know, when did you rotate and when did you change the oil filter and the engine filter. Look, it's going to take ages to put it in, so you could probably just use your logbooks, but it's there if you want it. Cool feature. Vehicle customization, door lock settings, smart entry, yes, I like it. Feedback volume, it does beep when you leave, so you know that you've left the car. Climate settings, efficient ventilation, yes, let's be efficient. Lights, light sensor sensitivity, yeah, I should probably put that a bit higher. No, it can stay on 0, that's fine, it's in the middle. Auto off timer and the interior auto off. And there are your settings for there. If you go to navigation, it just shows you your favorites and areas you want to avoid. And if you want detailed settings, you can do pop-up info, guidance on roads, guidance with street names, intersection names, all these details, which is only the stock GPS. It is not relevant to CarPlay if you use Google Maps and so on. Then you got Wi-Fi power. I mean, yes, but it's not going to do anything. Everyone's got 4G, 5G. Toyota app suite. Auto detect iPhone app, sure, although I don't have it and I have CarPlay, so I don't need it. Traffic, my traffic routes, avoid traffic. This is all relevant to this stock GPS app. So there is all your settings. Now if we go back to menu, we click apps. Now that I've unplugged CarPlay, you've got just other Toyota apps, which there's nothing there at the moment. So there's your apps button, okay. Go back to menu, and that's basically all your options. Now we're moving over to the steering wheel and dashboard. You've got your controls on the left, which is your volume and your Siri, answer a call, and this left, right, up, down, okay, basically controls your dash, as you can see in a moment on the top. It's going up and down. On the right is your cruise control. That is how close you want to be to the car in front if you're doing active cruise control. That's your lane keep assist on and off, and your next track and previous track here. Now the dash is pretty basic. You've got 2 analog dials on the right and the left, as you can see, and a very small digital display in the middle. That's telling me I'm not ready to drive because I haven't turned the car on. Now you've got lots of different options here. Enough for here. That's your digital speedo with your range, which might be the most important one that you're going to use. And then if you go down, it shows your fuel economy and your range again, your temperature, time, and lane keeping assist. The top left is also the speedo, which it basically just gives you the limit in the area you're in, which isn't perfect. It seems to be incorrect quite often, especially in school zones. It doesn't know that there are school zones. It's not school zones all the time. So there is your cruise option. That's your compass if you want to know what direction you're going, and that helps with lane keeping and your cruise. Here's your music that it shows you, and here is your boost, your temperature, your oil underneath, which is pretty cool, and the distance and time that you've been driving, as well as the all-wheel drive system. It shows you how much power is going to each of the wheels. Then you've got your settings over here, which you click. LTA, PCS, pre-collision system. Look, I need to turn that on just to have it on. Blind spot monitor on. Now that's your heads-up display on. RSA on, that determines speed limits. DRCC, RSA on, vehicle settings, hold OK for detail settings. Now that only has start stop. Standard, press OK to prolong start stop and reduce AC output, or standard. I'm going to keep it standard because I turn it off anyway. And here are more dash settings. Language, if you want it, English and French, that's all we've got in Australia. Units, yes, litres per 100, that's how we do it. Little leaf, fuel economy, total average, trip average, tank average. You know what, I'm going to do tank average. Music, audio tab, yes, I want the audio tab, of course. Display contents, drive info, type, drive info items, distance, total time. There's a lot of settings here for such a tiny display. Pop-up display, navigation, telephone, audio, and volume. That's fine by me. MID off. Oh no, I've turned it off. Okay, now it's back. Default settings, that's if you want to reset to factory. So there are your settings. Now here is your meter brightness, which I want it as bright as it can be. And hold this down for your lane keeping assist, lane center. On. It's fine. Sensitivity, yes, I don't want it completely up, otherwise it just goes crazy. Sway warning on, and low sensitivity because it is very sensitive as it is. Oh, we've auto powered off. Okay, well now I was just about to finish, but now I can turn the car on so you can see what happens if you start it. It's got the cool GR logo, and that's basically it. That is all the settings that we have. That is the average, and I usually keep it there, and that is the dash. Now, last thing I will show is the heads-up display, which is just there. If you can see it in the video, I'll zoom it in. It's got the speed, the limit, rev counter, and the lane keeping assist. So that is all the tech in this little GR Yaris. There isn't an abundance of luxury tech, but it's enough to get by. And as I mentioned in my review and other videos, I'm not too fussed about it because I'm buying this car to enjoy it as a car, and it's got all the features that is enough for me. I mean, it's even got heated seats, which is good for my bad back, but I can plug in my phone and use CarPlay, and it does that fine. It's got the heads-up display, and it's got the different drive modes, so it does all right. But there it is. Thanks for watching. If you did make it this far, I hope this was helpful if you were curious about all the features and settings in this car. One last thing I'll mention is down here, if you click this button, that is how you heat the steering wheel, which is very American and very great. So appreciate that. I can warm up my hands in winter, although it doesn't get too ridiculously cold in Australia. But there it is. Stay tuned for more videos. Subscribe to the channel, as I mentioned at the start. It helps us a lot, and we'll see you in the next one.